I don't know why, when I was just looking at some tutorials online for how to make notes with just using your hands, and some of them seemed to hit some points here, some points there, but not one of them seemed to put them all together. I probably won't do that either, but I'm going to try. Just try and fill in some of the gaps. Some people prefer to play with fingers interlocking, and probably the best guy I've seen, whatever his name is, Mitsuhiro Mori, he plays this way, and his range is incredible. But I can't get that kind of range doing that. I can only probably get, maybe half an octave with the interlocking finger method. But this other method of forming your hands works best for me. What I typically do is I take the knuckles of the two pinkies and cross them like that, and then everything else just falls into place. You have to realize there are two places air is going to escape to help with the sounds. There's that little gap on the bottom of the hands where air comes out. Also, probably the biggest problem in getting a note I've noticed, I've actually been able to teach people by showing them that their hands work, that it's all in the blowing. And the way that I do this is I take their hands in mine and I blow through their hands, and it works fine. But if they try and blow, they go, it doesn't work. So I showed them that it's all in the blowing. And if you look at the way the thumbs are, there's a gap there. And what I'm going to do is kind of position this way and only cover the top half of the gap. So air is going to escape both at the bottom crevice there, if you can see it a little bit, and then air is going to come out the bottom half of that gap there. So here we go. I've also noticed there's a wide range of smooth and unsmooth types of sounds that you'll see if you look at the tutorials. So we're going to try and move toward a real smooth sound, not a choppy sound. I learned some neat things out there, by the way, looking at other people's tutorials. One thing is, it's very hard for me anyway to play with dry hands. I just put, what is that, canola oil on my hands. I think the oil helps to seal the areas. I notice if my hands are real sweaty, or if they're slightly wet, oil is the best. They tend to play much better than dry hands. So here's what you can do. The kind of sound you're going to get, I think anyway, is largely determined by how you blow. And if you look at the different people and the way they blow, you notice that that very much is a determinant in what you hear. That's a change in tone just by changing the size of the cavity. And I really don't use that so much as I open up the cavity right there. And with these fingers here, that's more, and this is the thing that I haven't noticed, this particular technique of opening these fingers here to change that cavity right there. And I can get about almost an octave and a half doing that. And again, if you get into it, you can. Different things. I also find it's a lot like, whistling with your teeth, with your lips or your teeth. That if I can think of a song, I can play it. It's not like learning music. For instance, Mary Had a Little Lamb, No, that's a cartoon, isn't it? I can't remember how Mary Had a Little Lamb goes. Anyway. But whatever song you think of, typically after a while, if it's again within your range, then it works pretty well. You can also do bird calls by just picking two notes. It might be an owl, a probably have an ornithologist write and say, no, that's something else, whatever it is. I saw one guy kind of go with his blowing. That's interesting. Just saw that today. I gotta work with that. That's a neat sound. There's probably all kinds of things you can do, but I like the blues a lot. By rapid moving of the fingers like that, you can get some triplet action, that kind of thing. So it's neat. I've never actually used a microphone to see what a loud amplification would sound like, so there's a lot of things to explore. Well, I hope that helps somebody out to further their hand whistling abilities.